TheShaunShow. I'm back. I've been a little bit absent, gotta say. But it's good to be back. Very short show today. I'm only doing one today because we have games on the Saturday, which is interesting. 2 games. We got Texans Chiefs. We got Steelers Ravens. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is we'll go over the schedule and everything really quickly. Like I said, there's only 2 games. I'm going to be punishing through this one. Goal time, sub 10 minutes. Let's fucking get into it. Alright, so on the agenda today, we only have the show plug and the week 16 Saturday picks. We'll be back tomorrow to pick the rest of the Sunday games. But that will be our normal show. We'll be doing our picks and our bets, including our milli bet, our parlay, and our player props. This week I'm going to be looking at throwing a bit of money on the these rookie quarterbacks who will be playing. Or at least getting their first kind of legs in for the Browns and also Atlanta. So we'll see how that goes. Could be good, could be bad. Either way, it's going to be fun to watch. And then we'll go over the schedule really quick. So right now it's Sunday, Monday, Saturday. And if you're in Australia, it's Monday, Tuesday, Sunday. This is Saturday for me. It is the Friday for the US, so it is a bit of an off schedule show, except we do have a bit of an off schedule game this evening, so let's get into that. We're done with the schedule. The schedule is going to change. I'm looking at doing some more actual videos once I get off my fat ass and do it, and then we might think about bringing a camera into all of this, but I think videos should be the next thing that we get into, and maybe slow down on the show once the NFL season is done, and then once we get an audience we can come back to the show. But let's get into our week 16 Saturday picks. Let's fucking go. Alright, this goes. So here we are. First game we've got is Texans versus the Chiefs. Texans are favored by 3.5 points here. Like as you've heard me say all season, the Chiefs, have been playing to their opponents. They have not been crushing them by, a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, etc. So 3.5 points is a fairly tight line here. Let's go over the game itself. So it's going to be clear skies. It is just above freezing temperature. And it is 5-mile-an-hour wind, so it shouldn't be affected too hard in the kicking game by the winds, but it is going to be really very cold. Mahomes is planning to play on that mild high ankle sprain. He was a full participant in practice this week, and he has been cleared to play. They are trying to get the first round bye, so he's going to be playing. Hopefully we don't see a Carson Wentz out there, but I wouldn't be surprised if the high ankle sprain gets aggravated and he has to be pulled from the game. In that case, I'd rather go Houston. I don't have much faith in Carson Wentz, but I do, having said that, I do have a lot of faith in the Chiefs and Andy Reid being able to make it work with anybody, except for Alex Smith. So, anyway, let's get back to this. I did go on a little tangent there. Kansas has cornerback Connor and offensive tackle Humphreys both out. Houston has DT Fatiksai, wide receiver John Mechie III, center Scruggs, and tight end Stover. They are all out. Like I said, Kansas City is playing to hold that first round bye. Houston has secured the AFC South already, and Texan has had 2 close divisional games recently, one against the Jaguars and one against the Titans. Both of those games were fairly close, that's fine, but the week after that, they could only beat the Dolphins by 8 points. So honestly, with all of that information, I am going to be taking the Kansas against the spread. And maybe not the wisest thing to do. Every game has been super close, but I just think... I just don't think this one's too urgent for the Texans. They've locked up their division. They're not looking for a first round bye or anything. They're going to get possibly a home game. So, yeah, I'm just going to straight up go at the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans they're going to try and compete, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's not such a big deal if they don't win. It's hard to say that when you got a game full of fucking 104 competitors. Either way, like I said, I am going with the Chiefs against the spread. Don't be surprised if Texans take it. I just don't think it'll happen. Next up, we have the Steelers versus the Ravens. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Steelers versus Ravens. We have Ravens favored at 6.5 points. It is going to be clear skies as well. It is freezing temperature on the dot. 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. And there are going to be 14 miles an hour winds. That could affect the kicking game, but it's not. It is a bit. And it could affect the kicking game, so I don't know why I'm going to defend that. It's not massive, but it can affect shit. Okay, let's go over to injuries. Steelers have Justin Fields and wide receiver George Pickens both out. Justin Fields isn't typically a starter, but they do sometimes bring him in to try and get a first down. And George Pickens is their guy, so this is going to be kind of tough for them offensively. TJ Watt has been a full participant in practice after sustaining a low ankle sprain last week. And on the Baltimore side, we have cornerback Amor Davis and wide receiver Deontay Johnson are both out. Nelson Aguilar, I think he's being reported as out. It didn't show up on the NFL site, but there was some news reports like 9 hours ago that he may not have cleared concussion protocol yet, and he is likely going to be ruled out. So in that case, I do like the Steelers a bit better. Obviously, their main man, George Pickens, being out is a huge thing, but TJ Watt being back in the game is massive. They know how to contain Lamar Jackson. A little bit more on the betting stats. So the Steelers in the last 10 games against Baltimore are 8-2. Lamar is 1-4 against Pittsburgh, so he's been having a really hard time. And another little piece of information from Tone Diggs from the Pat McAfee Show and Hamadan is that the dog between Tomlin and Harbaugh is 25-6-3. So everything really looking in the way of the Steelers to win the game here. Just by these numbers, 8-2, Lamar 1-4. You know, dogs being absolute killer here. I am taking the Steelers to win here and against the spread. It is nice to be able to have that 6.5 point leeway, basically 6 point leeway. But I do still think they win. They are a more physical team. It's going to be cold. Obviously, they're a cold weather team. Baltimore also knows how to play in the cold, but Steelers. When you think of cold, you think Steelers. You think Packers. You don't think Ravens. And then the defense for the Steelers is better. They are more physical. The Ravens defense is not great, so points are going to be put up. I know Steelers don't typically put up a lot of points, and this is generally a very, very low scoring affair. I would take the under, just like you always should in a lot of divisional games, unless the Bengals are involved. So I take the under here. I take the Steelers against the spread. I take the Steelers to win straight up. Like I said, they're more physical. And also, just a little side bet, look for both of the Pittsburgh tight ends to grab touchdowns. Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. I think they're going to be big targets in this game. You might want to check their receiving over if you're a bit shy on the touchdowns. But yeah, I do believe the tight ends will play a massive part in this game against the Ravens. Can't talk too much for the Ravens. They're going to do what they do, but they will also probably get shut down like they do against the Steelers. And hey, that was the show. So we've got the Chiefs against the spread, favored at 3.5, and then we have the Steelers against the spread, 6.5 point dogs. But also, I'm picking both teams there to win. So looks good. The only thing that can really mess up this Chiefs Texans is if kind of Pat Mahomes goes down. I think Hollywood Brown might be training to come back this week as well, so that really doesn't bode well for the Texans. I don't think the linebacker who did the big... I think he's actually back. He may have only got one game suspension. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's who we're picking, and that's the show for today. We got it just at about 10. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with our regular show in which we do our Sunday football and our Monday night football picks and bets. And then also, we will do our Millie Bet. We will do our player prop bets, which is a new thing to the channel. But yeah, enjoy the football, guys. I'll likely be trying to tune into Steelers Ravens. I am working tonight, so getting up in the morning can be tough because it is a late night. But it's going to be a great game to watch. Low scoring affair, got to say. Take the under. Take the under. Anyway, guys, that was me. I'll be back tomorrow with your regular scheduled program show. So, appreciate yourself. Appreciate others. Have a great time and peace out.